Right, guys, we are back.
So from someone else's command, freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
It's the only way we can go there. I guess. Is it over yet? It doesn't feel like it's over. This isn't. It looks very artificial. You know how like before we went out the car park and we're in the middle of industrial area.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Is it over? The end is never the end. So, I guess we sort of have to look for a way that we can learn the information and get out. I just think that was artificial. Oh gosh, this game. It's different from our normal FPS / Minecraft. Mostly we haven't finished it, or have we?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
So obviously we can't shut door. We've had some alternate endings.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Maybe hinting to me that I shouldn't do it?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
So this way is not the correct way.
Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Nothing else, let's just check. Nope. I can go back here. It's letting me... No. I assume, can I? Do you want to... We can't, I can't make it. I thought I could jump off before, but now I don't think I can get back there, so... Let's go ahead. The narrator. Should we go... Before the narrator, it already led me to...
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Okay.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Roll, brick wall. Hey, I thought it was a joke.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
We'll just wait, see if that happens. Press every button on the keyboard besides A. Hold on. And then here we go. Avoiding 8. We'll press H.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
That's lovely.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
So you're gonna remove this a bit.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
I reckon.
Down one path lay an enormous woman's room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
And then the door.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
And she's gonna disappear, I bet you.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
And then it's going to remove my bedroom.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world, he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay, we're not doing it. It's not getting us anywhere. See, it's not advancing the story at all. We can't do anything. There's like nothing here. So we're gonna have to press it. I'll give it about a couple more minutes. Maybe I'll skip to it. Something happens. I should just press it. Let's do that.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must.
So back
Perhaps,
at the start, I think.
well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Please die.
And
Well, guys, we're pretty sure you can finish this game. I actually do not know. We're gonna be here a while, guys, so just kick back, relax.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Let's have my own office. Like, some of these guys, they're like just sitting all together in the boardroom. Now, he said something about a baby, and like there's different endings, and after I had a couple of those, not the ending with a baby, so...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's do it this time, so that background noise.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Now, okay, so what we're gonna do this time?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
That's that ending again. I don't want to do that ending. Gonna get back to the same ending, I guess. Oh, damn. Let's try and good luck, the elevator. Narrator's left him. He's like, well. Okay. That's not doing anything.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
We don't care.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
I want to try to put the power on and see if I can. Activate that thingy. Maybe. We'll try. I don't want to turn it off because we'll just let him talk out, I guess. But if we want it,
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Hey there. Okay. So I guess that won't be a thing.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this life is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss. by plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay, well, we'll get into a different ending this time.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
What a girl talking. Ooh.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
I want to go down everywhere and check out everywhere, but I can't. There's so much spots. I guess I can. Do I win? I think I win. Hey, there's my office. Ah, that's nice. That's really nice. We'll go there soon, but we want to see everything first. So, is that back to the main room? Yeah, okay. Office clock. First from this one, I think. Then that, and then that. I like the last one. It's much more flush. Looks more realistic.
Stanley pushed the big red button. Stanley ejected. Then he pushed the number 4. Stanley pushed leaving.
Let's manage to get somewhere. So yeah, well...
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now. It'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Can you finish this game? I wonder. This is really weird. To be. It's over, is it? It looks like that. So yeah, we guys, catch you guys later. I don't know. I think this is the end of the game, but if it is, if it isn't, if it is, thanks so much for watching this little game. See you next time. I might do a bit of research, see if this is actually the end. See you then.